Hello teachers, this is the learning guide for Primary 2, Term 4, Week 1. For this week, there are two booklets and the main focus is on this booklet here. We're going back to multiplication and division. Okay, for the second booklet, do not assign homework. Okay, if there's time, just take them through the question, in a sequential order. But for the first book, right, it's important that we do some key questions with them, and then you assign this as homework to them, okay? Because the main practice is for them to be able to draw word problems involving this kind of questions, right? 4 times as many, all right? Or 4 times as many, 5 times as many, and so on. Okay, so instead of the learn segment, right, please move straight to the guided practice. And here you are supposed to model for them. It is important to note that although the model is already drawn here, all right, I would like you all to draw out and show them how it's done. Okay. As per normal in the past, we have found that if students, when the model is already drawn, right, and you try to explain it, it may be harder to understand why or how this model is drawn like that. So let's start off with by looking at the question. Now the question here says there are 20 red cars in the car park. There are 4 times as many red cars as blue cars, right? How many blue cars are there? Now, when question sees the word 4 times as many, all right, tell them that it is something like a comparison model. 4 times as many, which means you're comparing two things. Now, in order to draw this bar model, okay, what do you do first? Let's look at this. There are 20 red cars in the car park. So the first thing they need to do is 20 red cars. So draw a bar, right, that represents 20 red cars. Okay, then call it red here, R, and then 20. Okay, you can write a 20 there. Okay, show them how this is done. Now, it is important, right? I wrote money, sorry. So 20 cars. So it's important to take them step by step so that they understand, right, what you're doing. Again, I think in my earlier message, right, try to refrain them from just copying without listening to you explaining it. So there you go, right? Red car, 20. And it says here there are 40 times as many red cars as blue cars. So you need to compare red cars to blue cars. Red times as 4 times as many. How do you do 4 times as many? One easy way to tell them is 4 times as many, right? Simply 4 times 4 boxes, right? So you need to draw 4 equal boxes, right? Start by splitting it from middle, split in the middle, and you get 4. Okay, or if they are not sure, they can always do the 4 boxes. If it's a bit too long, it's not equal enough, then they can do the trimming. So this is 4 times. Now, if red cars is 4 times as many as blue cars, it's always 4 times against 1 time, correct? So if red cars is 4 times, tell them that means blue car is 1 time. 1 time is 1 box. Okay, right, draw it. And then the question, how many blue cars are there? So that means they need to draw the question mark here. How many blue cars? Now, take note, get them to note that these are all equal parts. So actually, right, it is also about finding out what is this. All right, because they are all equal parts. Okay, and then you work out with them. This would be, there are 20 cars. There are 4 groups. So basically, in order to find out the value in each group, it is a division question, right? So 20 divided by 4, can write it, equals 5. So that means that there are 5 blue cars. Okay, let's move on to the second question. Same thing, model for them. Ali has 6 marbles. Tom has thrice. I think some of them may not understand what is thrice, right? So you might want to write it out here. Thrice is 3 times as many, right? 3 times as many. Same meaning as 3 times as many. So how do you draw this? Ali has 6 marbles, right? So thrice, 3 times as many. That means it's comparison model again. So Ali has 6 marbles. First sentence, Ali has 6 marbles. Let's draw. Ali has got 6 marbles. Okay. And Tom has thrice, right? So who has more? Tom has 3 times. So if Ali is 1 time, Tom will be 3 times. So all they need to do is draw 3 of this. Okay. So if they cannot draw one whole bar at the same time and cut it up into 3 parts, it's okay. They can always do this, right? Easier for them to understand as well. Okay. Now, how many marbles do the boys have all together, right? Check for understanding. Where should the question mark be? Should a question mark be here? Right, ask them, okay? If the question mark is here, what they are finding out is how many marbles does Tom have? But that's not what the question is about. So, okay, what it's really asking is all together. Right, sorry, I ran out of space, all right? But to get out of there, the question mark should be there. So there you go, right? All together means what? Ali here, one box is 6. All together, right? Ask them, how many boxes are there all together? How many units? So 4 units. So it's 4 times 6, all right? 4 times 6 is 24. Okay? All right. And then there are some other scaffolded questions. You can get them to do this first, right? Fill in the blanks. No need to draw for them. Okay, check for understanding first. There are 24 oranges. There are 3 times as many oranges as apples. So where should they put the 24? Where should they put the question mark, right? How many apples are there, right? So question mark is here, 24 oranges. Okay, so what's the equation? 24 divided by, because 24 refers only to these 3 boxes here. So 24 divided by 3 equals 8. 1 box is equal to 8. So these are all equal parts, right? That means apples is 8 as well. Okay. And then I think this question here, okay, still scaffolded. All right, Alan has 7 keychains. Okay, so, and Elsa has 4 times as many, right? So you can actually draw over. So you draw Alan has 7 keychains, right? And then Elsa has 4 times as many, means they draw 4 parts. 4 times, 4 boxes, 4 times as many. Okay. And the question now is a bit different, right? You ask them, how many more keychains does Elsa have than Alan? Where is the question mark? Okay, where is the question mark? Is it this? It shouldn't be this, right? Because then what it means is you are just finding out how many so-called keychains does Elsa have. So more than would be this part, isn't it? Right, this is the more than. Okay, more than. Right, so how do they do the question? They know that 1 box is 7, 1 unit is 7. So the more than has got how many units? 1, 2, 3. Right, 1, 2, 3. So it should be 3 times 7. All right, and then write the statement. Elsa has 21 more keychains than Alan. Okay, for the third question, or for question 3, right, on page 8, okay, this is the time that you stop modeling for them and put them to a test now. Get them to draw, right? You may guide them a bit, but do not draw anything on the board. All right, I'd rather that you walk around to make sure that they're doing this correctly. So there are 5 erasers in a box, right? There are 4 times as many as pencils, as many pencils as erasers in the box. How many pencils are there in the box? So ask them, right? Is this comparison? Right, there's a big comparison because there's this 4 times as many. So what should they do? What should they draw first? All right, which one is more, pencils and pencils or erasers? 4 times as many means pencil is more. So they start with the erasers, 5 erasers in the box. So they should be drawing the eraser first. Okay, and make sure that they label the 5. So you have to do it in order. Some students, they don't label the 5 first and keep continuing drawing. You have to make sure that they draw it. Okay, and then pencils is 4 times as many, you draw 4 boxes. How many pencils are there in the box? So simply asking for 4, not everything, right? Equation, so make sure that they're able to do it or do this on their own. Okay, I would suggest us to do question 4, right? Ask them, twice means what? Twice means 2 times. All right, 2 times as many spoons as forks. So they draw 2 boxes for spoons and then 1 box for forks. Okay, and then 16 spoons, they label the 16 spoons. Okay, so what is the fork? Right, so they need to find out what is 1 unit. So this is the division equation, 16 divided by 2. All right, okay. So after they are done with this, right, if you find that they are able to do on their own, you can skip further. If you think that they are still unsure, right, then do question maybe 5. All right, to get them do on their own, right? I think practice is very important. Okay, and question 6. Okay, question 6 they should know, right? But I will perhaps get them to do this question, right? Question 7, because this is about finding how many cupcakes all together, right? So they have to count all the units here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 after drawing it. Okay. And then I would suggest that you guys do question. Let's continue to do question. This is important. Okay, the last two questions that you should do with them is question 16 and question 17. Why? Because now there are 3 items. Okay, so for this question, you might want to guide them along as well. There are 45 pence in the box, so they can't draw anything yet, right? Because it's all together. This means all together, right? This is all together, so they can't draw all together yet. This is a comparison model. You can't draw all together for now. Okay, all together, right? All together. So there are twice as many red pens as black pens. This is what they can do. Twice as many. Twice means 2 times. So red pen twice. Right? Red pens 2 times. Okay. Black pen 1 time. Okay. And then there are as many blue pens as red pens. What does that mean? It means blue. Okay. It's the same as, you might want to spell it out, but say it's as red pens. Easier to see. Notice I draw it differently because I'm trying to show them, you know, if you draw it together, if you draw it sentence by sentence, this is what it look like. And how many pens are there all together? Right? 45. How many of them are there all together? And then the question is how many black pens? So this is the question mark. So it's about finding the value of 1 unit, isn't it? In total, how many units? 1, 2, 45, sorry. This is 45. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 45 divided by 5, 9. Okay, so this one then is a bit challenging, right, for them, but I think it's interesting to do. Okay, so so Julia, Mary, and Stephen read some books in June. You can draw that. But what you can do is Julia read 4 books. So J, 4 books. And remember, label it. Okay, Julia 4 books. Mary reads twice as many as Julia. So what does that mean? If Julia is 1 time, twice means 2 times. 2 times, 2 boxes. Okay. Stephen reads twice as many as Mary. So this is different, right? Stephen did not read twice as many as Julia. Stephen reads twice as many as Mary. So what does that mean? 2 times of 2. Ask them, what is 2 times 2? 2 times of 2 means 4. So they draw 4. 2 times 2 equals 4. So actually, Stephen is 4 times of Julia. Right? Because 2 times is many. Okay? How many books in total? 1, count the number of units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 7 times 4. Okay? And then depending on time, right, you might want to get them to write a question, do a word problem question, but if it's too tough for them, that is fine. Okay, depending on class, they have different profiles. And then you can actually get them to complete most part of the independent practice, except for the last part on their own. Okay, so if there's enough time, then you move on to the second book, right, which is on word problems, right? Take them through question by question. Here, the model is not provided, but I think we should be consistent, okay, to use the bar model method. Okay, so this question, for example, chair costs $156, table costs 108 more. Okay, so chair 156. Okay, dollars. Remember to get them to write the unit sign, right? Some students may, when they don't write unit signs, they may forget that this is dealing with money, right? As I've seen in some of the classes. Okay, and then this one, table is 108 more. Right, table is 108 more, so this part is 108. Then the chair. How much does the table and chairs cost? Okay, so this can be a bit challenging. Work it through them one. In order to find the answer, this is a small question mark because they got to find out what the chair is first. After that, how much did the table and chair cost? This is a big question mark. All right, this is what the question is asking. Okay, but you must find out the table first. All right, then table plus chair. Okay, so use this method, and then the rest is go. So do in a sequential order. right? And by the time class ends, right, take note, you do not have to assign this as homework. Just please put it aside. Okay, that's it for this week's session.